After the entire summer spent in Leo, Venus leaves the bright solar and radiant sign of the Lion and enters the practical, grounded, and service-oriented Virgo on Sunday, October 8th. We get this Venus for the entire month, and initially this transit may feel like a rude awakening as we leave the fun and sort of playful energy of the Lion, and Venus immediately opposes Saturn, calling in sadness, melancholy, rejections, delays, blockages. These energy is not going to last, and as the month progresses and we cross into the final third of the month, Venus will be making supportive aspects and aspecting Jupiter and Uranus, promising opportunities, good luck, and jolly energy all around. Let's take a closer look. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you like my work, don't forget to like or comment, hit that subscribe button, and press the notification bell. And if you'd like to thank me, you can also buy me a coffee and say thank you. So before we dive in, I am currently running a Libra season special, meaning every Libra sun gets 20% off natal and solar return readings. Natal readings are more general. They look at your chart, at your soul's purpose, your strength, weaknesses, and natal potential, versus solar return readings tend to be more predictive. They describe your year to come and talk about the trends and how these trends are affecting you. So take advantage, coupon codes down below, and you can book the reading on my website, anastasiadoesastrology.com. So Venus entering Virgo, right? We're going to talk about Venus and Virgo and how Venus will be affected by Saturn and Jupiter and Uranus. I did a video on Venus and Virgo last year, so definitely check out, type in Venus and Virgo on my website on my YouTube channel to get more insights. This will be a briefer, shorter summary, but in general, Venus is the planet of attraction, right? Venus is the planet of love and beauty and accord. Venus is responsible for us getting along and coming together. She is the glue that brings together things and people, events, opportunities that are seemingly not going to come together. So she's very she's all about good time, fun, and people getting along. Virgo is the sign ruled by Mercury. So when Venus goes into Virgo, she has to behave in accord to mercurial rules. And Virgo is the yin Mercury. So Virgo tends to narrow things down, right? We have a young Mercury with Gemini, and Gemini spreads information, gathers as many different facts, and then tells them to more people. Virgo narrows things down, very yin. So Virgo analyzes, it's the sign of the mind, it's very thoughtful, but very practical, right? And grounded. So when Venus, the goddess of love, shows up in the sign of Virgo, she has to behave in accord to Virgo rules. So she becomes a little bit more anxious, right? A little bit more analytical. She starts to be more interested in improving oneself and improving other people. She becomes more service-oriented. So here is what we can expect as people who are going to experience this transit from October 8th until November 8th. We can expect for ourselves to become more analytical, right? We can become, in terms of creativity, like we're likely to focus on smaller details, wanting things to be perfect. Same with people. We're likely to become more picky when it comes to dating. We're likely to become more critical. That's always a downfall, a downside of Venus and Virgo. So be careful that you're not taking your partner apart, right? And sort of pointing out at everything they're doing wrong. We are very much, we desire, right? Venus, what we desire? We desire to take care of our bodies. We desire to have good dinner and healthy food. So kind of taking time to perfect your habits, taking time to perfect your everyday life will become more joyful. Caring for people in practical ways, offering them a meal when they're hungry, right? Offering them an advice, doing research for them, booking a restaurant when they're struggling to pick one. It becomes, all of those things become more important to us. We become more, potentially nervous, like I said, struggling to let go of control. Because Virgo is an analytical sign, it can have that tendency to see all the things falling apart and focus on the negatives a little bit more. That's why Venus in Virgo is in her fall. I create candles for planets that are more difficult. So if you're born with Venus in Virgo, like me, that's why I started creating them. I highly recommend you check out my Venus in Libra, Venus Cazimi creations, as well as Moonlit Trinity, because these have strong Venus in rulership emphasized, and they can bring some of that chill energy into your life. But, take advantage of that practical, thoughtful, methodical energy. Take advantage of desire to improve yourself, but watch out for the downside of anxiousness, worriness, pettiness, criticism, right? Every placement has those, even super strong, astrologically speaking, placements. So Venus stays in Virgo from October 8th until November 8th. We get 1 month. Initially, for about 5 days, from October 8th until October 13th, Venus goes into Virgo, immediately opposes Saturn, right? It's like we've had Venus in Leo, a bit more playful, a bit more creative, a bit more idealistic, sort of dramatic and royal. I want what I want. I have these images. It's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. Venus goes into Virgo, more practical, opposes Saturn, has to face roadblocks, delays, rejection, cold showers, melancholy, right? So facing pressures, facing roadblocks, facing, like, it's a reality check that makes you maybe take a step back. It doesn't stop you in your tracks completely. But the first few days, October 8th into 13th, relationship pressures, melancholy, sadness, tiredness. Saturn in Pisces can also be like a very emotional Saturn, right? You feel blocked because you need to process some of your deep feelings. We are in eclipse season, so there's like potentially a lot of emotions. To me, this transit is all about getting real. You need to get real with what is achievable and what is not, what is possible and what is not, what can you actually do in the time frame you have versus what is maybe just the like little things that can be let go. So work on self-development, work on figuring out a strategy, and keep going, because later in the month, on October 21st, 22nd, Venus trines Jupiter. And that feels like if you have listened, if you have adjusted, if you have worked, this is when the rewards may come. This is when the optimism and joy and good luck can show up in your life. Social connections can be extremely rewarding. Work that involves publishing, writing, travel, education, all of that kind of stuff is especially encouraging at this time. So publishing, presenting your work, presenting projects is great. And then Venus trines Uranus on October 31st. We feel this energy between 28th and 13th. Oh, and the trine to Jupiter also starts to build between October 19th and 24th. So as soon as we get close to like the final third of the month, this energy starts to feel better and more constructive. So October 31st, kind of feel it between 28th and November 3rd, Venus trines Uranus, and this is a refresh. This is like new energy, inspiration, unique ideas, unique opportunities, a chance to do things differently. So even though we face that initial rejection, we deal with roadblocks, as we proceed, things get better. Okay, so let's take it through all 12 signs and give you some ideas on what this might bring. Like I said, check out the video I did on Venus and Virgo last year so you get more information. Listen for your rising sign. If you are an Aries rising, Venus is about to go into your 6th house for a month from October 8th until November 8th. 6th house is the place of health. Venus in the 6th will want to take care of health, improve your diet, improve your routines. It's going to want to do work that is more enjoyable and find more pleasure in work. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, Venus in your 6th house will oppose Saturn in the 12th. And here you're dealing with your blind spot as a disruption. You're dealing with your mental health and your fears and your maybe bad habits, maybe your escapist tendencies, right? Like if you have a tendency to call up friends and go party instead of take care of your duties, this may catch up with you. This might be the time when things actually feel frustrating. Or maybe you are working on getting better and exercising, but something like a friend who needs you, who's going through a tough time, or some responsibility you have takes you out of it, and in the immediate it feels frustrating because you're unable to reach your goals. If you stay patient and you keep working on things, it will get better, because later in the month, between October 22nd and 31st, we have Venus in your 6th house trining Jupiter and Uranus in the 2nd house. So second house represents self-worth. It represents your values as well as financial matters. So here you're either feeling happier with your progress, maybe you're able to work out as much as you want, maybe you've found a swing, a good routine that you're in, maybe you're investing money into your health and feeling sort of happy about it. You might also be getting money out of the work you've done, because Venus in the 6th could be very much like, I have learned all I could about nutrition. Let me now offer advice and get something from it, right? So you're also learning to apply your knowledge and perhaps get some financial benefits from it. If you are a Taurus rising, Venus is entering your 5th house of romance, creativity, sex, joy, pleasure, and children. On October 8th, stays here until November 8th. This is house joy for Venus, right? So she is happy to have a good time. She's in Virgo, so she's going to have an element of that overthinking, being over analytical, kind of wondering, am I doing the right thing? Am I partying too much? But in general, this is a good time to create. This is a good time to make babies, to connect with children, to spend more time with children, right? To explore your passions and hobbies, and just sort of connect on what is pleasure for you. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, we have Venus in the 5th house opposing Saturn in the 11th. And that could suggest something about your connections, about your friendships, or about your social duties standing in the way. There might also be some literal disagreements with friends about what to do and how to have fun. Maybe you have different ideas about the party you're going to throw, right? Or experiencing some kind of criticism. Maybe they're criticizing you and disagreeing with you, and that is temporarily throws you off balance and maybe upsets you. There might also be a bit of a tension of your dreams, of like your outside dreams in the world versus your personal goals, like, becoming a social media influencer and becoming a parent. So sort of needing to balance those two is quite likely. The energy does improve on October 22nd and the 31st. We have Venus making harmonious aspects to Jupiter and Uranus in your 1st house. And this feels like you're taking control. This feels like an opportunity to show up despite or in spite of all the difficulties and roadblocks, and redefine who you are. And here we're connecting the house of joy, pleasure, romance, creativity, children with the house of self, right? And this can play out multiple ways. Maybe you choose to spend time with your child. Maybe you're getting pregnant. Maybe you're taking matters in your own hand and like announcing that you will become a business owner, or you're taking matters in your hands when it comes to pregnancy and you're visiting a fertility specialist, right? Maybe you're taking matters in your own hands and you're inviting someone out that you're interested in and you've been eyeing for a while. So definitely opportunities to redefine who you are, to be the protagonist in your own story, and to add more fun in your life. I can see for you, Taurus risings. If you are a Gemini rising, Venus is entering your 4th house on October 8th, and until November 8th, you desire to spend time with family. You desire to connect with relatives and people you love. You want to improve your surroundings. You might be taking on more home improvement projects, handling like painting your walls, redecorating your bedroom, and spending, like I said, spending more time with family. Initially, your work might be a sore spot because between October 8th and 13th, Venus in your 4th house will oppose Saturn in the 10th. Just a sec. So Venus in the 4th, like I said, is desire to be more insular. Is that the word? More at home, more with family, more private, right? And sort of intimate with people you love. Saturn in the 10th says that there is responsibilities you have in the outside world. There is bosses that are putting pressure on you. There's tough decisions you have to make. There is big questions about who you want to be, where you want to go, where you want to live, right? Very kind of important decisions. And I have a friend who's a Gemini rising, and that's literally all the questions she's struggling with as far as her company is moving. Is she going to move with them? Is she going to move back to her home country? There's a lot of big questions. Do not despair. The energy does improve. On October 22nd, we get Venus in a trine to Jupiter. 31st, she trines Uranus. And this is connecting your 4th house with the 12th, which is interesting because there could be like a hidden benefactor, somebody helping you, somebody like coming out of the blue and offering suggestions. 12th house is also the place of foreign lands. So if you are struggling with the decision whether to move or not, this could be an opportunity to move. It could also be a spiritual practice or an imaginative project that offers you solace and makes you feel happy. Even an opportunity to get away or an opportunity to tap into your imagination, to connect with something beyond, to find support in faith, religion, astrology, tarot, anything like that could be quite a good tool at this time. If you are a Cancer rising, Venus is entering your 3rd house on October 8th, and until November 8th, you desire to explore your surroundings and have more fun in your everyday life. That might mean hanging out with siblings, exploring, connecting with your neighbors. That could mean taking on new hobbies, learning something about cooking or about filing taxes if you find that enjoyable. But having fun, but also doing practical things. Venus and Virgo will always want to explore skills and do things. Like if you're meeting with your sibling, maybe you're taking a cooking class together. Or maybe you're inviting them over to help you downsize or get rid of some clutter, right? So you're like hanging out, but you're also doing something practical. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, Venus in your 3rd house will be opposing Saturn in the 9th. So you might be running into roadblocks or facing some kind of difficulties connected to travel, education, legal matters. Like there might be duties you have. Maybe you have a paper due that you forgot about. Maybe your teacher is kind of reaching out to you. Maybe Venus in the 3rd house could also be the sign of like wanting to go back to school or wanting to start a business or wanting to sign up for a class. But Saturn in the 9th could be a sign that like you need to gather more papers. You need to get a permit for your business. You need to reach out to more people, right? There might be some kind of pressures connected to that. Do not get discouraged. Be patient. As we get to October 22nd and 31st, Venus will be trining Jupiter in your 11th and Uranus in your 11th, which is a sign of potentially opportunities coming through friendships, opportunities to expand your network, maybe meet more people. A friend could offer a solution to your problem, right? There might be even just a chance to take your knowledge, take your skills, take your interests and your business to the next level, to the level where you're reaching out more people and connecting with more people is highly likely here. So I hope it's a great transit for you. If you are a Leo rising, Venus is entering your second house of money and values on October 8th, and until November 8th, you're driven to improve your financial situation, to make money and potentially to spend money. You might be spending more on beauty or on health-related procedures and treating yourself. Initially, you may deal with some tensions between your spending desires and your debts that you have that are holding you back, between your desires and your partner's desires, right? Like the money that you have versus what they have, your money versus their debts. There might be a bit of tension and a need to balance things out. Perhaps, you want to spend on vacation, but your partner feels like they want to wait and save and then go on a trip later maybe. So there might be misunderstandings and a sense of rejection almost. Similarly to like if you want to invest into something, but you get told that you have to wait, right? Or you feel ready for a project, but there is some kind of hoops you have to jump through. So be patient, because you get really lovely financial opportunities coming later in the month, especially around October 22nd and 31st. As Venus in your second house trines Jupiter and Uranus in the 10th. So this is the best time to ask for a raise, lovely opportunity to present your ideas, to present new projects, to start a business, and show up and sort of share your insights with the world. Or even if you're a business owner already, to kind of present your gifts and your talents and your offerings to your community. If you are a Virgo rising, Venus is entering your first house on October 8th, and until November 8th, you are blessed with more charm. Of course, it's a more humble charm with Venus and Virgo, but you have this beauty, this radiance around you, maybe more, you desire to be a peacemaker, right? You desire to invest into yourself. You're maybe more driven to improve your health, to improve your beauty routine, to make changes to your look, to cut your hair, to get a hair color, whatever it might be. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, Venus will immediately oppose Saturn. So that desire for personal growth can be at odds with your relationship. Saturn can bring a sense of, Venus wants to improve. Venus wants to get a haircut and upgrade the wardrobe, but Saturn in the 7th can bring up all these tensions and frustrations in your love life and make you feel melancholic and insecure. So do not let that affect you too much. This energy will change. But it might invite you to look at whether you let other people influence you, or whether you let your relationship define how you feel about yourself, right? There might be some important answers there. Venus goes on to trine Jupiter and Uranus on October 22nd and then on October 31st. And that is connecting your first house of self with the 9th house of education, travel, opportunities to teach, opportunities to study. And maybe you are feeling ambitious and feeling adventurous and willing to go out in the world and learn new things or go on adventures. Maybe you're even starting to date someone foreign, or starting to teach, or starting to write, getting an opportunity to publish your work. So, like I said, initially some tensions between you and your partner, but things do improve as the month goes on. If you are a Libra rising, Venus is entering your 12th house on October 8th and stays here until November 8th. So Venus in the 12th house can bring up a little bit of insecurity, right? There could be a bit of a sense of self-doubt, self-sabotage. Of course, I'm a Virgo Venus natally, so I'm going to start by talking about the negatives, but I will turn it around in a second, I promise. But just be mindful of 12th house can be self-destructive. So the very clear self-destruction here comes from being self-critical. But there can also be romantic tendencies to maybe you feel insecure about yourself, so you want to make other people insecure and you criticize your partner. or you feel like you have good intentions, but you end up hurting them. Or dating someone who's not good for you is very much 12th house energy. Someone may show up in your life, someone from the past, somebody who is otherwise involved and you're willing to let them in, but that is ultimately hurting you and, let's say, the person that they're involved with. So be mindful of that. The positives here are being imaginative, being more creative, being driven to go on a trip with your partner and spend some time in a remote cabin with them and have passionate nights, right? So invest into that energy, less so into the critical energy. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, the critical, the difficult is likely to feel the strongest because Venus in the 12th opposes Saturn in your 6th house. And this feels like Saturn in the 6th could mean criticism from the boss, some kind of feedback you get that frustrates you and sets you back and makes you feel like the work you've done is not worthy. So it can escalate a lot here, right? There might also be, with Venus in the 12th, you seek escape, and Saturn in the 6th says, no, you have all these work duties to handle. So try to find a good balance, try to handle responsibilities first, and then take care of planning your vacation second, right? The energy does get better and it does improve on October 22nd. Venus trines Jupiter, super lovely. On 31st, it trines Uranus. So I can see breakthroughs in relationships, healing of the past wounds, becoming more self-aware. 8th house is money of other people. So if initially you get like rejection and you feel frustrated and upset or worried about something, later in the month you can actually get recognized and rewarded for not giving up. So keep plugging away and working on yourself, my lovely Libra risings. If you are a Scorpio rising, Venus is entering Virgo, which is your 11th house, on October 8th, and until November 8th, you're more social. You're driven to connect with friends, to network, to sort of catch up with them. You might shine more in group projects and even choose to go to conferences or maybe present some ideas. Watch out for being too critical of yourself, as that is the downfall of Virgo. Initially, between October 8th and 13th, Venus will be opposing Saturn in the 5th. And so your desire to achieve your dreams, your desire to hang out with friends is opposed and delayed or blocked somehow initially, not forever, but it's like stalled by the duties you have to your partner, duties around parenthood or tough decisions connected to parenthood, very much like, do I become the VP of this company or do I have a child that I just found out I'm pregnant with, right? Very sort of tough decisions, or you have plans to speak at a conference and your child gets sick. So this would be very much revealing in a lot of ways of what do you have on your plate that needs to be put down, or what do you need to release? How can you create better balance in your life? This energy doesn't last. As we continue and get towards October, closer to October 22nd, 31st, Venus will be aspecting Jupiter in your house of relationships and partnerships, as well as Uranus in the house of relationships and partnerships. So good times come rolling later in the month. There might be opportunities to partner up with friends, maybe opportunities to move friendship into a romantic relationship, maybe more get-togethers and more exciting new beginnings in your life that involve working with friends, pursuing your dreams, forwarding your business, right? As you figure out how to find a better balance in your life. If you are a Sagittarius rising, Venus is entering your 10th house of career, status, and reputation on October 8th, stays here until November 8th. And you desire to have more joy in your career. You might feel like improving your public image, maybe putting out more content if you're a content creator, maybe spending more time with bosses, maybe kind of instigating, starting new creative opportunities, right? you're driven to grow and you're driven to build your connections. Initially, this desire to grow and be professionally successful can get disturbed, delayed, disrupted, frustrated by the duties and the karma around home and family. Saturn in your 4th house between October 8th and 13th will be in opposition with Venus in the 10th house. And it's very much my worldly ambitions, my public life, and my private life. So you will have to balance it carefully, try not to sacrifice things. Like if you have a deadline, you have a deadline but your child is sick, don't sacrifice the health of your child for a deadline, right? If you balance things out, if you move slowly and carefully and prioritize, the energy does lift up, the frustration lifts up, it starts to feel better. And on October 22nd, 31st, Venus in your house of career will actually trine Jupiter and Uranus in your house of health, work, and service, bringing rewards, bringing recognition, bringing opportunities to take your hard work and turn it into another zero on your paycheck. I hope that's the case for you. But there might be some lovely opportunities coming your way, and definitely a sense of the work well done and well received. If you are a Capricorn rising, Venus is entering your 9th house on October 8th. Will stay here until November 8th. So Venus in the 9th house desires to travel, desires to learn, desires to explore, maybe learn more, like Venus and Virgo in the 9th house, learn more about sex and how to be really good at it, right? So there might be a desire to write, desire to grow. You're really seeking growth, and that can come through education, through travel, through writing, publishing. Venus in the 9th can also, if there are any legal matters, any like visas you're waiting for, Venus can help with that, but not at first. First few days of this transit from October 8th until 13th, Venus opposes Saturn. And your desire to travel, your desire to grow, your desire to write gets blocked by the practicalities of everyday life. Saturn in the 3rd can create a sense of bureaucracy that you're dealing with as you're trying to publish your book, or it deals, you're running into some kind of authority figures that are delaying you, or you have a trip planned but your car breaks down. So be patient around this time. Don't let scheduling, logistics, and some kind of miscommunications throw you off balance. Instead, keep plugging away and keep working. The energy does lift up and get better. On October 22nd and 31st, we have Venus in your 9th house, trining Jupiter and Uranus in the 5th. So that feels like creative abundance, creative opportunities, right? Jupiter and Uranus in your 5th house can be very inspirational right now. It can also bring new beginnings connected to children. Maybe you're choosing work that deals with teaching children, or you are exploring becoming a parent, right? There might be new romantic opportunities, because another thing Venus in the 9th house might want is to date someone foreign, or date someone intelligent and well-educated and broad-minded. So romantic opportunities, creative opportunities, a chance to study something you enjoy, a chance to become a parent or become a parent figure to somebody else and get recognized for your knowledge is highly likely here. If you are an Aquarius rising, Venus is about to enter your 8th house on October 8th. Will stay here until November 8th. And Venus in the 8th can actually bring good luck through other people. It can urge you to partner up with others and start joint projects, right? This is very much, if you're a creative individual and you start writing with someone, you can do much better than you would do alone. Your partner's resources might improve. You might be getting more gifts. Watch out for fights around money and fights around how much you put in and they put in. So there could be battles there, especially initially, because between October 8th and 13th, Venus in your 8th house will be opposing Saturn in the 2nd. And there is some kind of tension between, me, my money, and our money, or me, my money, and my partner's money, but also disagreements about values. Maybe you value having a small place, but being able to travel, and your partner is the opposite. They would rather have a bigger apartment, but travel once a year, right? So needing to compromise, needing to adjust, needing to perhaps take it easy when it comes to investments and debts and taxes is a possibility here. Things do get better, especially when it comes to real estate and mortgages and investments into your living situation. There might be finances and gifts coming from family members, and just maybe even advice coming from family members, like breakthroughs coming from family members around October 22nd and 31st, as Venus in your 8th house trines Jupiter and Uranus in the 4th house. So very good flow. Like if you're getting a mortgage, if you're buying a home, if you're selling a home, this could be like I said, either family stepping in, or you hear of an opportunity and you get the home of your dreams. So let me know how this goes and how this resonates in the comments below. If you are a Pisces rising, Venus is about to enter your 7th house of relationships and partnerships on October 8th and stay here until November 8th. So full months. And you desire, finally, you're sort of wrapping up a long chapter of dealing with health. And here your focus goes to relationships. If you're not interested in dating, this could be the time when you're partnering up with others. Maybe you're working on your business. Maybe you're just joining forces with people, right? 7th house is love. So for some of you, it can definitely be about going on dates and putting yourself out there. But for others, it could be about starting relationships that are a marriage of sorts, right? Like, I do A, you do B, and together we do AB. Initially, there might be some tension between you and your partner between October 8th and 13th, as Venus in your 7th house opposes Saturn in the 1st, right? So it's like Saturn in the 1st is this grown-up energy that you're working on. Like, you are very grown up right now as a Pisces rising. You have Saturn in your 1st house until 2026. So you're like maturing and taking responsibility for your dreams and your goals. And somehow that might be at odds with your desire for love. So having to make tough decisions about maybe saying no to a potential crush, or it might be at odds with what your partner wants. Like, they want to spend a weekend together, but you have a busy week coming up at work and you have to spend the weekend working. So needing to balance these complicated energies is quite likely, needing to make compromises, tough decisions, and needing to have honest conversations. Make sure that if you're having disagreements with your partner, you're not like running away and hiding from them and pretending like everything's fine. Just talk things out honestly. The energy does improve and suggests some kind of positive experiences in the neighborhoods, maybe getting a chance to travel or to write or to learn something new. Potentially in relationship, maybe you and your partner kind of schedule a date and have a good time around October 22nd and 31st, when Venus in your 7th house trines Jupiter and Uranus in your 3rd house. Definitely either like a fun date with existing partner or a new opportunity that will involve education, short trips, writing, blogging, working with your siblings are the kind of strongest possibilities here. This is all I have. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you made it till the end. Most likely you made it if you're a Pisces rising. And I hope we all have a healthy eclipse season. And I hope it's all relatively easy, right? Life is never just easy, and you wouldn't want it to be only easy, but I hope it's educational and calming and lovely. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.